Hello there. You know, whenever you're on the internet, you usually have a specific goal. You want to learn something, buy something cool, or interact on social media. But have you ever thought how the internet brings you all of this information?
The internet is a large network of smaller networks that all voluntarily connect with each other. In order for you to get the content you request, or to share your own content with others, you need to connect to the internet via an internet service provider, or ISP. How do all of these networks connect so that you can send your content to others and they can send theirs to you? Well, let me explain. Since there are thousands of networks spread across the world, ISPs need to find ways to send traffic everywhere. To facilitate this process, ISPs connect with one another to carry each other's traffic. In the most basic case, an ISP simply pays one or more other ISPs for connections to the global internet. This is called transit. Think of transit as paying to get access to every website on the internet. The ISP selling transit doesn't actually have every site on its network. It has agreements in place with other networks so that it can take you to everywhere you want to go on the internet. Sometimes, when two ISPs connecting with each other mutually agree that the value they bring to each other is about the same, or they are each sending the other about the same amount of data, they may decide to connect their networks directly to exchange traffic between each other's customers without either party paying each other. This is called peering. Because peering is a barter transaction where the payments would largely offset each other, it is done without the exchange of money. Finally, in cases where the parties are not exchanging equal volumes of traffic, or the contributions made to enable the exchange of traffic between the connecting parties is not equal, there is no basis for a barter transaction, and the party contributing less pays something to help balance things out.
Seems to make sense, right? Now, what happens when data has to travel a long distance?
Let's say you live in New York and you want to stream video to your computer, and the content provider that streams this video for you resides in California. Once your request for that video has reached the content provider will send the video across the country by paying transit providers who are potentially carrying the video through multiple networks to get to your ISP and ultimately to your computer. Now imagine thousands of people in New York and all over the country requesting a video from the content provider at the same time. In order to deliver the video to all those people efficiently and to save transit costs, content providers sometimes pay content delivery networks, also known as CDNs, instead of transit networks. Think of CDNs as a local distribution center storing lots and lots of videos, movies, and TV shows that can deliver that high bandwidth content more efficiently by placing copies of the content on servers located much closer to you, the customer. The content provider pays the CDNs to deliver the videos to the ISP. The CDNs in turn pay the ISPs for connections to the ISP's networks to handle the content being delivered. CDNs pay ISPs because CDNs are sending the ISPs more traffic than it is receiving from the ISPs. Consequently, the ISPs must make additional investments to accommodate the high volume of CDN-delivered traffic. These CDN arrangements have been around for many years. In some cases, a large content provider may decide it is more economical to build its own CDN and to pay the ISPs directly rather than using a third-party CDN. The global internet is a network of networks operated by thousands of companies that interact daily so that content ultimately gets to you, the internet user. This system of traffic exchanges has worked successfully for close to 20 years with very few problems because the tens of thousands of networks involved have cooperated without government regulation by agreeing either to a relatively equal exchange traffic or to pay for other arrangements when there is an imbalance. This is how the internet works and how content providers, ISPs, and CDNs all work together to make the global internet possible.
You can now see that quite a lot happens within an instant when you click that mouse. Now that you know a little about how the internet works, visit broadbandforamerica.com to learn more.